And I use every dating app across the board.
We have a wonderful guest today with us, AJ Marroquin.
Wake up, swipe a few times, match with a hot person, be like, a hot person wants to me. It's time to start my day.
I went to his home and realized he did not like anime. He loved anime.
I was raised by my grandma and she was a Jehovah's Witness. I grew up in that faith.
Yeah, I was like, well, how does homosexuality intersect with Jehovah's Witness? I'm assuming not good.
Well, it's a big no-no. No birthdays. I didn't have a birthday until I was maybe 18. I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm just going to have shrooms. Don't do shrooms in the Lord, you guys.
But hey, everybody, welcome back to End of the Mud podcast.
While others celebrate the wins.
We celebrate the mud.
You see,
I
motherfucker.
switched it up on you.
He switched it up, and you can't stop laughing either.
I'm Drew King.
I'm Alex Cumin, and we have a wonderful guest today with us, AJ Marroquin.
Yes.
Marroquin.
Is it
Marroquin.
French or Spanish?
Sure.
Marroquin or
Yeah.
Marroquin?
So I did Google it one time because I'm a narcissist and it said Spanish and French. So boom.
Wow.
You heard that.
Marroquin.
Marroquin.
Wow, I love it.
We do need to do
Beautiful.
a quick rewind into that incredible intro. We'll link the video, but
We'll link the
also
video.
Drew and I met up this weekend, and that's how you
That's how I
you
entered
came
the bar.
Is that really how
Yeah.
you did it?
That viral video of this gay guy walking into his girlfriend's house, and it was like, this is proof that gay guys can say anything when they enter a room and people will still freak out. And he runs in and he's like, who ordered the tossed salad? And then the girls are like,
Background you just hear like, and he like stomps through the house like so pleased with himself. Like he knows.
Absolutely knows.
I love them. We need to come up with a variation of that and try it.
Yeah, we'll get by the end of this episode, we'll have one. There's
Every
gonna be a
every
catchphrase.
intro moving forward is a
sure
different
we
one.
will.
I love that. I love that.
You better
The
drink
clouds
that
are behind
water.
his face.
Oh my God, I love it.
Fly a vibe.
Oh my God. AJ, well, welcome to the stage. We're so
Guys,
happy to have
thank
you
you for
here.
having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm
This is so
thrilled to have
thrilling.
you here.
Yes.
We recently reconnected
We did.
because we know each other from Chicago days way back.
No way.
Yeah,
girl
super way
Chicags.
back through comedy. But then now we just ran into each other.
Yeah,
Give us your journey. You've been bouncing around a little bit in the last few years.
I have been. Yeah, I was working for a dating app and it was all virtual. And so once I found that out, I just sold. I mean, this is probably a manic phase, but I sold everything I owned and I moved into a carry-on bag. And then I just moved to Italy. And then I just started doing like the digital nomad thing, which I hate saying digital nomad because it makes it sound like I'm jacking off in a van with twinkle lights, but it's like I'm not.
I mean,
I'm doing
were you
that in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a normal person. And I did that like for about 4.5 years. So to like do 2 or 3 months in a different city and then move
all
around.
in Italy.
No. The first year I did like Italy and then Greece and then Istanbul and then like moved to London, and I would kind of just like rotate them around to keep my visas not like conflicting. And then every once in a while I'd come back to like Chicago. I do like a Chicago summer. I'd rent like an apartment for like 3 months in Chicago by the beach, and then I'd just dip. I'd like quick furnish it with Amazon.
That's incredible.
You're welcome, Jeff. Spend like drop a problematic stack on some cheap furniture, set it up, and I just like leave it all behind.
Who ordered the problematic stack?
The problematic stack.
What an amazing! I didn't realize it was 4 years.
Yeah, it was probably
4
right around
years.
the time. When did you move to New York?
4 years ago.
Yeah. So you were hosting at Kohl's.
Yeah.
And then I think I was going to replace you at Kohl's, and I kind of did for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then right around that time, switched and moved over to
Oh my God. Wow.
traveling. It was really fun. It taught me so much, and I was so grateful for being able to do it for as long as I did.
What did it teach
Yeah.
you? Give us a lesson.
Oh my gosh, a lot about like like I love the anonymity of traveling. And it was something that's probably not like really great for you long term, but I just felt like, okay, like I could go and explore different versions of myself. It felt like traveling universes. It's like, I'm going to try this version of AJ and like how I approach people and how I behave. And if it doesn't work, I'd be like, okay, well, I leave in like a month anyway, bitch. And then I'd like leave in a month and go to like Spain, and then be like, now I'm going to like, try this thing out. And
I love
being
that.
able to do that over and over again, like not having any like obligations to others, was like something that was very formative for me.
You're kind of like a social anthropologist in that sense.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's very
That's
like,
super cool.
switch your wig, make him think that you're cheating, kind of Megan Thee Stallion vibes. Where I was
love
like, I
it.
just tried a different personality. No,
I
it's
love
like
it.
just like different, also like ways of like flirting and approaching people. And it was, helped me like socially quite a bit.
Oh,
I love that flexibility, but also because it kind of contrasts what your topic is, which
Yeah.
is the gift and the curse of certainty.
yeah.
So that kind of sounds a little bit the opposite of
Spooky.
Yeah.
certainty. I would think would you be like, I'm staying here, I'm moving in, I'm finding a partner, and I'm done, and this is it.
Right,
This is
right.
great.
And that's why I don't have that gift all the time. But sometimes.
Did you find, because I know that when I was like living abroad, I had trouble getting myself grounded in those places because I was like, I'm not going to be here for that long anyway. It's not like I'm going
Yeah.
to be like living here long term.
Yeah, I think for me, because I was doing slow travel, so like for instance, like I would be like 3 months in Madrid or something along those lines. It was long enough for me to stay there and become like, and I'm a creature of habit, so I go to the same coffee shops, go to the same bars. I
Right.
want to become a regular. I'm
Yes.
not like, oh,
Love
going
being
to.
a regular.
It's
Love
my
having a cheers.
favorite.
Love having a
Yes,
cheers.
absolutely.
Yes.
To a point where like I would walk in and then like they would be like, oh, like here are your like 2 little tapas and here's like your drink and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was that, but it was also like the movie 50 First Dates, whenever like Adam Sandler pretends he's like the tour guide, like the
Yeah.
tourists
Yeah.
like come in and like he's there for the weekend. He's like the really fun like hookup and then they leave and he like resets like every weekend. That's kind of who I was. Like I started off as a tourist and then I'd be like, here are 3 fun gay guys from Berlin here just for the weekend. And we'd spend the whole weekend together. We'd become friends and then they would leave and then I would be back in Madrid on my
Back to
own.
square
And
one.
then it would
Yes.
reset over and
Yes.
over and over again with like different groups of people. And so in that way, it was like I was in between being a regular and being a tourist.
Yeah.
So I could find like grounding in that. And then, yeah, it was just, if I was moving around a little bit more frequently, I could see it would be a little bit more jarring. But like
Yeah.
to do like 1 or 2 months in a place, you kind of find
Yeah.
a pattern.
You find your groove. You like get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
What are your top 2 favorite Spanish tapas of choice?
Oh my gosh.
Gosh,
Anything with like a hard boiled egg, anything with an
Ooh.
anchovy. I'm
Ooh.
a stinky bitch for real.
I love it.
Those
Yeah.
are strong
Love that.
choices.
Yeah.
What
Those
are
are
strong
yours?
choices. I'm going to say the gambas al ajillo
Yep.
or the lomo saltado
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm a.
or the patatas bravas.
I would. Yeah, the brave potatoes are.
Brave potato.
Brave
Yeah.
potatoes are
The
very
first one was
brave.
what? Was the first one shrimp?
Yeah, it's like the
Yes,
garlicky
garlic
shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
And they
I love
just-
you have like all you said so beautifully, like a hard boiled potato, like a hard
Hard-boiled
boiled
potato.
egg and some shrimp
Anchovy.
and an anchovy.
What about you, Alex?
Manchego cheese
Yeah.
and the tortilla española.
Tortilla española.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, the
Ooh.
first time I'd ever been there, I didn't know that like they brought me like 2 little things with like a beer, and I was like, oh, like how much is
much?
this? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, it comes with your stuff for free.
Fucking euro is
Spain.
how much it is.
Spain. Why don't we all live in Spain?
Why?
Why are we
loved
here?
it. Everyone was so chic, and everyone was like walking around smoking cigarettes,
Just
and then like there's like
chugging
and it's
cigarettes.
so
Yeah.
chugging cigarettes, and like there's like ashtrays like drilled into the trees, and it's just like they're constantly clean
There
somehow.
are.
They're like smoking on like you're having a conversation with someone, some like ashes like on a willow, like a tree right
Yeah,
there. Like
yeah.
that's amazing. And it's clean.
Just
in a
walking
bird's
in.
nest. It's actually an ashtray.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
this is gorgeous.
In an orange tree.
And
Yeah.
Like,
absolute.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. But they're so across the board healthy because it's all like Mediterranean lifestyle. So
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
they can smoke however much they want. Their
They
hearts are
party
in
so
way better
hard.
shape than
They party
They
hard.
party so
I don't know
hard.
how we survived. We met
we were
studying abroad in
young
Spain.
there.
Oh really?
So like
Yeah.
we
How fun.
we went hard.
Yeah.
It's like so good studying
So
abroad
good.
in
It was so
Seville.
fine.
They loved it.
I would have loved to have met you guys at that point.
Oh.
Were you-
We
what were you guys
we
like?
would've been thick
Were you
as
guys
thieves.
crazy?
We were.
You were a bit crazier than I was, but
Checks out. It checks out.
She was a
I
player.
am much
She was a
crazier
player.
now. Yeah.
We're not showing them that. Don't sponsor this.
You came
Play
from like
about
a
it.
real college though. I
I
came from
did.
like I went to Fordham University. So we were just all like, "Oh, I have my paper to do and then I have to go do 7 shifts at Old Navy." And then
I
like
came
we were
from a
like living
college
adult
that
lives and
invented the octobong.
yeah.
Oh my
Which
god.
was it's an 8-person beer bong that the engineering students would, because it was like the #1 party school in the nation, but also like real good like engineering program.
Yeah.
They would go to like the 2nd floor balcony. It was an 8-person like an octopus with tubes that would run down, and then on game day people would just like chug the beer, but they would get the
Well, they would die.
velocity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a drinking out of a fire
Someone
hose
died.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah,
died on
yeah, yeah.
impact.
And that's how Kyle died.
Yeah.
from the octobong.
We love you, Kyle. We love your family. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Sorry,
what you
Kai.
did.
Oh my god.
That's wild.
Anyway.
Okay,
Anyways.
so we know that this topic is I know we're rambling. I love
Listen,
that.
I knew this would
Hours.
happen though, but this
I know.
is
This is the best part of it. This topic is like a little esoteric. So like give us like what's on your mind in regards to we kind of framed it as the gift and the curse of certainty, but this is because you in particular, you work in the dating app sphere. So you're constantly questioning and around a whole bunch of people who are questioning, I guess, or like either being like, what do I like? What do I not like? Or alternatively, confronting people who were like, nope, I want a husband, I want a wife, I want kids, I want this. And like, they're certain of everything. So can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of like, what is your understanding of the word certainty and what is your like past history with that? And why did that prompt this topic?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I mean, certainty, it's like, it's hard because it's like, I think there's so many variations to it. There's like something that's experience based about certainty. And there's something that's kind of like fact based, like data driven. And then there's something that's just kind of, I think, more abstract. And so I think about like for instance, okay, yesterday I'm on the train, I see a guy, he's eating fried pickles from Popeyes, and I'm like, oh my god, they have fried pickles? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm getting those. So later that night, got fried pickles. This was like yesterday, got fried pickles. And I had one. I'm like, I'm certain that's going to give me indigestion, and it did, because I previously had a spicy pickle like that, and I knew that from experience. And I think about like work, and it's just like, okay, we have like certain like data metrics. I was like, this makes me feel certain that this is going to be the outcome of that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what different kind of version of it. And then you have what I believe is like to be like abstract certainty, where it's like, I don't know. I mean, factually, I don't know if it's there, but I am certain that it is.
Yeah.
I believe it. Like when we talk about like religion, or, I think about as a kid, when you lose a tooth and you put under your pillow and you wake up, there's $1 there. And it's like, okay, I'm certain there's a tooth fairy, which... sick, by the way.
There's not
a woman in your home, and she's like taking your little tiny rice teeth and giving you hard cash for it.
Cold hard cash.
It's gross. Where do they
I
go?
love it. I know. Where do they go?
Right.
My mom actually collected mine, which is cute, and they were in like a little tin. It was cute.
It's really cute.
Very cute.
Bring them back.
You came from a super religious background, correct?
Yeah, kind of on both sides. So I was raised by my grandma, and she was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
Or is a
wow.
Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
So I grew up
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I grew up in that faith. Birth was in it until like I was like 19.
Okay.
So like still at post high school, was still in it for like another year. That was,
Were you knocking on doors?
Every Saturday. Every Saturday, honey. Yeah. It was crazy. It was like every Saturday, wake up at 7 a.m., put a suit on. You'd go into a neighborhood, walk around, and then even if like the porch light was on, we'd still have to go up there. And it's like, picture me, I'm like a young Rosie O'Donnell, 9-year-old. I look like Rosie O'Donnell in a suit, like just like waddling up to your door, being like, I'm in your neighborhood to talk to you about, the truth is what it was called.
Yeah. Do you remember
truth.
like the
watchtower, right?
Yeah. Like the script?
It wasn't like, it would change because it would change depending on like what you were presenting. But yeah, you'd have like pamphlets, and you'd say like, I'm in your neighborhood to talk to you about, what do you know about God? And it was, they would call it the truth. And then other religions are called like false religion, which, I mean, duh.
Every religion says that.
Every religion
says that.
And then, if they were like, if they were able to accept you into, their like living room or whatever, that was a whole nother awkward thing. Because now it's just like me, 11 years old, my grandma who like barely speaks English, and we're like in your house, like you're in your panties in a bathrobe, you smell like shit, the whole place is like kind of weird, and now we're just talking about Jehovah God.
How often would you get to that point of living room?
Very rarely. And then like knowing what I know now and looking back, the people that were accepting of me at that point were like people who were just like, please, someone talk to me. Like you, like chubby 11-year-old, your Mexican grandma, like get in here. We didn't do anything last night. They were the people that wanted to talk, and they were the ones that are so interested. Not all of them, but most of them. And everyone else, I would have like people that would open the door. They were college students. They'd be like, "Fuck you!
Yeah.
It's Saturday morning. It's
like,
8
leave me
a.m. Like
alone.
looking down at me, like fuck you, kid." And then shit like that.
So back to metrics. What was your rate of conversion?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I ever converted really anybody.
Is that the goal? Is the goal to be like, you are now officially part of our faith and you're coming to our church?
So the belief system is basically you go door to door, and you're telling people about Jehovah God and the truth and like what he represents, and how you're of course bearing witness, Jehovah's Witness. And basically, if you say yes to that, you go to more meetings, you acclimate to the faith, you eventually, when the world ends, will go to a paradise earth. Now, if I told you about it and you deny it, when the world ends, you would be destroyed, which is fierce compared to hell. Okay.
Just destroyed.
Just destroyed, which is like Yep, one and
Smacked.
done. Not like a rotisserie thing. It's just a boom,
Squat.
gone.
Also, yeah, what is the paradise? Is the paradise
Yeah, what's
different
it
for
look like?
everyone, or is it like
That's really what kind of like, I think when I was really early on, gave me like faults in the faith and made me uncertain about it, were the logistics around what paradise was. Because
Yeah.
in the pamphlets you would see like a little girl riding on the back of a
Fort
lion.
Lauderdale.
Yeah. Biloxi, Mississippi. You'd see
Dead dolphin on the beach.
Yeah. Someone's petting it, rubbing sunscreen on it. And
Oh
the
my
pamphlets
God.
would have like, like animals and like, the kids are riding on their backs and everyone looks young and happy. And then that would be like the thing is people would kind of like, add their own spin on it. Like we're all going to be young. And then I struggled with how that would actually work. So it's like, okay, if we are all young and hot on Paradise Earth,
Yeah.
right? If my brother is 3 years old, does he become 23 and hot? If my grandma's 78 years old, does she become 23 and hot? Are we all 23 and hot? And if so, how do we know who's who?
And who wins Love Island?
And who? Exactly.
It's exactly
Me
it.
and my grandma.
Yeah.
And then like also like
Clearly.
how do we find each other if we're all 23 and hot? Like if I know like what my little kid brother looks like, but then I'm like, how does he look like as a
Yeah, what does
Yeah.
he think? Yeah, you're not going to know
and
what
I
he
would
looks
ask
like.
those questions and people would be like, okay, well, and that's something that God
We leave up to God.
Yeah.
we leave out. It's like very, and I was like, you
The
can't
blind
give
faith.
me
You
these
can't give me an
answers,
answer.
and that was like very, and then also the other part of it is okay, we're asked to like talk to our friends and our loved ones about this, and so I had a question of if I never talked to you two about it, which sorry, and you guys never heard about being a Jehovah's Witness or what the faith represented, what would happen to you? And they were like, well, if they didn't know, they would be moved on to the Paradise Earth as well. And I'm like, so then I am like kind of damning my own friends by
Yes.
by being
witnessing
like,
to them, and
yeah,
then they are actively turning away, and now boom,
Smack.
destroyed.
Ignorance really is bliss.
It is, yeah. And so hearing that was also a thing where I was like, oh, then why do I go to people's doors? Like then it made me feel so guilty because I'm like waking these people up on Saturday to be like, are you ready to get destroyed, bitch?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Wait, so when did you start like when did you start questioning it? And then what was your kind of like, okay, now I'm done here.
It was probably like real early on. I'd say like 10 or 11. Yeah, because I'd been going out in service, which is what we call going door to door. Going out in service for probably like 3 years at that point. And I was like about preteen.
Yeah.
And I started like, having more friends at school. I was like one of the few kids in my congregation that wasn't homeschooled. I had like, we had some kids that were homeschooled, like hair down to your ankles, dressed like a baby doll kind of situation, which I loved
This
because
Kansas-
there was,
this
yes.
Kansas Jehovah's Witness. This
I've
is
seen that Twitter
100%.
role play.
Yeah. And, like,
100%
there was
exactly
there
what
was
I'm
there
picturing.
was two girls who were kind of like in that kind of I feel bad even like bringing this up, but they were in that kind of like dress and like kind of like behavior, and they would go to public school with me, but they were giving off homeschool vibes.
Yeah.
And because we don't celebrate holidays as Jehovah's Witnesses at
None.
school, 0, no birthdays. I didn't have a birthday until I was maybe 18.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we didn't do.
How did you know you were 18?
I didn't. I still don't. I could be now.
You're
the
hot in
world's
23.
oldest.
You're hot in
I could be hot
23.
in 23 right now.
You are on 23. I knew it.
But we couldn't do like Valentine's Day or Christmas. Like if like something like during school, if someone was like passing out Valentine's, it would be me and the two creepy girls, and we'd go to the library, and we'd be at the library all day, which I personally loved.
Okay.
I wasn't
yeah.
mad about. Famously gay kids love the library. Like,
True.
That's just where it's at.
Our first allies were the librarians.
Yeah.
Oh,
Always.
It's totally
100%?
true. My first
100%.
job
Was
my
that your-
first job was a library page at like 15. I was like,
I
I'd go organize the books.
love the library.
I
My
love the
grandma was a
library.
big library bitch.
The smell of a library.
I
Oh,
loved
a
it.
card catalog.
A card
The
catalog.
smoothness of a card catalog coming in, and the
gosh.
stamp.
The
It
stamp.
reminds me of
And
Ghostbusters. The
Yes.
card catalog. Oh my God.
It was so
Like-
nice. And also at that point, too, in my life, I was like 15 when I was working at a library. And so I looked exactly like I look right now. And so everyone thought I was like 35. And so like all the girls would be like, we're going out to drinks. And I'm like, all right, girls, I'll be there with you. And I'd go with them. And like they would talk to me like I was just an adult. So it was like very early on, like gay best friend energy from me.
Oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
So you went.
So I went from
Just
being
This
like
is a journey.
This
Yeah.
is a hard pivot.
hard
I'm
pivot
like-
from being like closet
Truly.
Jehovah's Witness to like gay best friend at a public library.
This is a sitcom.
My-
Being like
my
Dewey
double life.
Decimal System, honey.
My double life. Oh yeah.
What is in terms of
So
I have so many questions in terms of being closeted. Like, were you able to come out to your grandma? Were you able, like, how is Jehovah's Witness like with
Okay, that's actually an interesting question. So I didn't come out until I think probably to them until I was like maybe like 16-ish.
16, that's early.
Well, how old are you?
I was 16, but I wasn't Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, but how soon did you know that you were gay?
Oh,
Right.
I was in
He
love with
came out of
Dennis
the
Molinari
womb
when I was in
just like-
kindergarten. Like, oh my God, I had crushes when I was in kindergarten for sure.
I remember like, coming out to when I did come out to my grandma eventually, I was like bawling my eyes out. And she was like, "Is this because you're gay?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you knew?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have eyes and ears." Like, what the fuck? Like, I raised you. Like, I was like, I would be like a little kid in like
bless.
softball, and like the ball would come by me, and I was like doing the TLC's waterfall dance choreography out in the back of the field by myself. Like, I thought I was T-Boz. I thought I had T-Boz bangs. Like, I was
my
gay
God.
as shit.
I love this.
growing up.
I love it. It's
Gay
so
as shit.
cute.
So I knew real early on I was a huge homo. But I didn't like kind of say anything because so as a Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah, I was like, well, how does homosexuality
Yeah.
intersect with Jehovah's Witness? I'm
well,
assuming not
it's
good.
a big no-no.
Yeah, I figured.
They're
So
not,
you don't
Really?
So paradise is not rise bar.
Paradise is
okay,
cool,
so
honey.
Paradise
Rope
is
up.
not the eagle.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Eagle laying on its side, kids
Yeah.
petting it. The pamphlet.
They're slings, not swings, honey.
Two birds lay down, and that pamphlet they do. And that's why I stopped believing. No, there was a rule where the belief system is if you're baptized, and I wasn't baptized. So if you're baptized and you go against the church or you do something that's like against the faith, it's called being disfellowshipped once the faith finds out about it.
Fellowship.
Yes.
Okay.
Feels harsh.
What disfellowship
Yeah.
means is anyone else in the faith that is baptized, it could be mom, cousin, friend, whatever, they are no longer allowed to talk to you at all.
Oh, that's
whatsoever.
the same as is it the same with the Mormon Church? It's definitely the same as Scientology. Scientology and a lot of evangelical branches will, say you have to cut off entire contact with your close
fully.
ones.
And
Yeah.
so I knew that if I had ever gotten baptized, in my mind, I was like such a paranoid. Like I was like, if I get baptized, someone will out me to the church, and then my grandma won't be able to talk to me, and then I'd be like exiled, essentially. And so I
Which
just
is so
refused
much
to get
to
baptized.
just walk around with as a kid.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at that age to be like, I have to hide myself so I can talk to my grandma because my church that I don't know if
Yeah.
woof.
It was so like, yeah, you have to kind of mature a little bit faster. And you are. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like I'm like wearing a suit every fucking day.
Yeah,
I'm just like a
seriously.
used car salesman. I'm stressed out of my mind. It's like no wonder I have like no hair right now. It's like I was really ripping it out back then.
Did
You're
your
worried.
suit fit? Remember like when you were like a little kid, like or like a little boy, little girl, and your clothing was always like your first communion dress, or I don't know if you had first communion, but like
Not
the first time you wore a suit, it was just like you were walking around in a box. And like
Oh
I
my
remember my
God.
sister
Yeah.
the first time she had to wear like a fancy dress. It was just like a curtain. Like
Yeah. And then I look so uncomfortable. It's like when you put like a vest on a dog and the dog is just like like on all
Yeah.
just like bow-legged, like
why did you do this
it
to
refuses to move, and
Yeah.
someone has to kind of like usher it along. Like that's what I look like. Because in my family, like we weren't like rich, so it's like you bought a suit that had to last you a long ass time.
That was from
like, I had to
Goodwill.
grow
It's
into
suit
that.
for you to grow into.
I look
in
like
3
Lori
years.
Lightfoot in that bitch. I was walking around like Lurch, just wearing the longest.
Rosie
like,
O'Donnell
yeah.
walking around in a
It
suit.
was bad.
Classic Chicago call.
It was bad.
I'm always ever fascinated though about the idea of blind faith and certainty within religion. And we had an episode with a priest on, and we've talked about this a few times now, but we're just getting like massive backlash from religious zealots in the comments, or people who are so firmly steadfast in their faith. And no
Yeah.
matter what you say to them, it is wrong. They are right. You are wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody else is wrong. So how do you think that like fierce certainty, determination within your religion has now translated into your adult life, and even in particular in the dating sphere?
I would say like for me at that point, it felt opposite of certainty. So I was certain that this was not for me. Like I was certain that the faith was not a real thing.
Yeah.
And then so that to me translated more than like I was, and to this day I'm still very envious of people who have like that kind of zeal. It's just not, eyes closed, hands up. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I love that people can do it. I wish that I could do it. I wish
It'd
that
be
I could.
easier for
Be
sure.
way
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
I remember being younger, like head down during prayer, and I would be like peeking up and like looking at everybody to see like who's like really feeling it. And then every once in a while, I'd clock someone and be like, looking at me, and I'm like, I don't know if you're feeling it.
Are you also gay?
So like, yeah,
that's how you know who was gay.
That was my first time cruising.
Do you know
my
the
first time
TLC
cruising was during a
choreography?
prayer, like,
Like, meet me in the bathroom.
yeah. And so that kind of uncertainty, or like finding kind of like the flaw, or like looking behind the curtain and seeing things that I thought were just like logistically doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That to me is actually what transferred over to adulthood and relationships. It wasn't this idea of like, I'm certain about God. It was the idea of like, I'm just so uncertain that everyone feels a certain way, and I feel like I can absolutely see through it. And that translated to, things like, and again too, is like working in a lot of like user or public facing positions. Like, I was a server for a long time. I was the librarian. I was a cashier at Walmart. I was working like in every kind of like public facing position that you could have across my whole career span. You learn how to read people, and this too. It's like, I mean, being around people, you read the room, you know how to code switch.
Absolutely.
You know how to change, like, if I'm working one table and it's like, some like Western people, it's like, how y'all doing? Like, I could like get into that, and I'm going to make more tips that way.
What
so
if
like,
you walk up to a
learn.
frat table and it's a bunch of straight guys? Give me your best code switching.
I like this.
Like, hey, bro,
Shirt
I
tied
want to, we want 4 beers.
Oh, wait, that's you ordering it for me?
Yeah, that's me ordering it.
Oh, yeah, sure, man. Got the brow for
Man,
us.
man, it's man. I
Yeah.
always say man. Me and my brother do it too.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I never say man until like,
There's
hey, man,
like
what's
a change
up?
in posture. There's something that
Yeah.
you do. It's like, and you kind of do that across so many, and maybe too, I was talking about it recently with my therapist. Yeah, I finally have one. But I was talking about, it's been great, but talking about how when you're early on, like I've told you guys, I'm living this double life between me being gay with the librarians and then me being straight at my church.
Yeah.
You learn to have two paths, like running parallel against each other, and how to switch back and forth
Yep.
really well. And that to me, I think, created a whole bunch of uncertainty in my adult life as like who I am. So it's like that is, one of those things where I think uncertainty was the biggest takeaway I took from like faith and having something that I didn't believe in. And I see it in like relationship and dating stuff now, where it's like, how many bad dates have you been on, or where like, someone's obviously like lying in their profile to you, it's like, and I've done it too. It's like, I put on my profile, the color one, I love whatever that is. I love running around in different colors. I imagine that's what that's about. Camping? Hell, yep. I love camping.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Love camping. And now I kind of do love camping, so it's not a lie now. But at the time, it was like, I don't know what I was talking about. You want to kind of like, and it felt like you're almost like honeypotting someone in. And so I thought, if I'm doing that, then how many people are doing that to me?
Yeah.
And it creates this kind of like
That's
weird
such an interesting, because
paranoia.
I feel like the two paths kind of puts you're constantly only standing on one foot. Like there's not a lot of like stability. Even though you're really good at standing on one foot, you're just like, oh, I am like unshakable on this one foot when I'm here, and over here I'm on this one. But then when it comes to, it's like you learn really well how to be a chameleon.
Yeah.
And like that's something like I did growing up, was like, ooh, like, and I think it is I think it's a very cool thing to be able to fit into a lot of different groups and like be around a lot of different people. But then I think what it eventually became was like not really forming strong opinions of my own or like a strong sense of self, because I was like, well, what do you guys need from me? And I'll be that for you.
Oh my God, yes.
Versus like, this is who I am, and if that doesn't vibe with you, then I guess we can be but like we're not going to be best friends.
Yeah.
Versus for my whole life, I was always like, okay, well, when I'm with like the soccer group, I'll be this. When I'm with the student council group, I'll be this. Well, when I'm with like the older friends, like you mold, and then eventually you get to your early 30s and you're like, whoa,
Where did I go?
who am
I
I?
go?
Who am I?
Well,
It's a
what
full
am I?
identity crisis.
Yeah.
We talked about that kind of in the beginning about like traveling and, how long you stay somewhere. How do you become, part of that scene and get grounded there, and doing that over and over again. Moving to New York for my current job, I'm like, oh, like I can't run away from this thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like every footprint I leave, it stays there.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about, you could test
And
out
Jesus
different-
walks beside you.
And there's another set of footprints right beside me, hon. It's like you can't get away. You can't get away from him. Yeah, he's a fast walker. Even in sandals.
You literally cannot get, even in sandals.
I know.
Speaking of, this is a complete non sequitur. I did a musical once. This
What?
is so what?
Once.
What? It was so dumb. And they did a whole musical number that was a manger, like birth of Jesus number. And I had to come out as one of the three wise men in those Jesus sandals. And they had glued taps onto the bottom of the sandals.
You're
and had to do
lying.
like tap dancing and these like Jesus sandals being like, it was the gayest thing I've ever done. I was just like, imagine
I'm
Jesus
living.
walking around being like, click, 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 wash my feet.
You shuffling off to Buffalo in a custom pair of like Old Navy flip flops is like incredible to me.
These are Jesus's original pair of sandals.
Oh my God.
So good.
He wore these from year 5 to year 11.
That'd be so
Gay.
good.
Anyway, sorry. I just
so
had to talk
good.
about the
I
Jesus
needed to
sandals.
hear that.
Footsteps. What were you talking about? I don't know.
Well, you know what I think I would love to switch into is like with dating, because you've been working with them for a while, or working in this sphere for a while.
Yeah, I've been working for dating apps or in the dating app industry for probably like 5 years at this point.
Okay.
Always in trust and safety. It's really focused on healthy, user relationships. Really, I'm a huge proponent of education in terms of like teaching people about asking for consent or how to turn people down. I think my big thing, and that's the one I really like,
That's a
is
big one.
is turning people down, because it's always like we don't teach people how to exit the conversation.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
always interested in how to start the conversation. How do I start it? But then how many times have you been a part of a conversation where you're like, get me the fuck out of here?
yes, all the time.
Yeah,
And so
or
it-
people who just stop talking altogether, and it's like just a simple,
Yeah.
or like ask you on a date, and it's like just close it, just
close
close the
it.
loop
Yeah.
politely.
Yeah.
Just because it's not face to face doesn't mean there's not a person on the other end of it.
Yeah.
you know.
Because it's like, imagine how awkward that it would be in real life. If you're like, hey, how's it going? And someone just like turned around and kind of like walked away. You're like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
But it's because in person we know how to get out of those interactions. If someone says hi, you say hi back, or you wave bye and you leave. But when it comes to dating, I think the biggest thing people always hear and see so much feedback on other apps is, well, no one talks to me, And there's
Yeah,
I think there's
same.
different reasons for that. I think for me and I use every dating app across the board because I love the user research of it. I like to be able to know what I'm kind of talking about in that way. For a long time, before I even started working for dating apps, I would like just wake up, open up my phone, swipe a few times, match with a hot person, be like, a hot person wants to fuck me. It's time to start my day. And
Yes.
then like put my phone down, get up, brush my teeth.
It's a little dopamine hit.
Yeah. Wouldn't even think about messaging them back.
I am hot.
Sorry,
Fuck
Brian.
yeah.
We're off. Like, that's it. Next day, same thing. I kind of get through it and be like, I guess I am still fuckable. And then like move about my day.
Yeah.
And some people do that. And then some people, match like really quickly and then they get nervous about how to approach. So there's a lot of things that I think hold people back. But I think that if you're able to teach all aspects of a conversation, people would be way more comfortable with starting one if they knew how to get out of one
Yeah.
without feeling embarrassed.
I love the idea of like, I mean, I love and hate it, but giving people prompts of like,
Yeah.
I mean, AI is already doing this everywhere, but sort
Yes.
of like hey, are you feeling this person? No? Here are some things you can say to like
Yeah.
peace out politely.
Oh, totally.
Politeness has got, I think that, so much of our online interactions have deteriorated our
Oh, for sure.
person to person interactions because people think
yes.
they don't need to be polite anymore or even just human beings to each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I was recently talking to a colleague of mine about how I think all dating apps kind of feel this thing where it's like, oh, Gen Z is not, they're not using the apps. They want to meet people in person and no one can figure out why. And I think my guess is also too, it's like age-wise, we grew up in different areas of social media and public interaction. It's like older guys on Grindr will hit me up and be like, hey, stud, hello, handsome. And it's like, okay, I'm going to pepper spray you. Get away from me.
Oh, yeah. I've never used that intro.
Yeah. Hey, young man.
Hey, young
stuff
buck.
like
Are you
that.
I'm officially a daddy now, I guess.
That's
Love
it.
that for you.
I do
Graduated.
too.
Oh
Everyone's
my
clapping
God.
at home. It's like, yes. But I think too, it's like imagine yourself as like a person that's like Gen Z and you grew up in the comment section where like how you mentioned everything is either really intense or really worshiping.
Yeah.
Yes, mother. Okay, you ate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they're like completely talking shit and like ruining someone's
Keep
life.
going. Keep going. I want more
You
of
were
those.
shitting in the mother toilet and you clogged it and you didn't wash your
mother
hands
toilet.
clean. Yes, like stuff like that. When I see one the other day, it was comparing two artists. And it made me laugh so hard. I was like, It was like, ooh, she was in Lana Del Rey's closet playing in her panties. And it was because someone made a song that sounded like a Lana Del Rey song, and I lost my mind.
So it sounded like Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, someone made a song that sounded like that, and she's like, uh-oh. It was like, Lana, you better call the cops because this girl was in your closet and she was playing in your panties. And that was like the funniest.
That is creative, though.
It was the funniest way.
That.
And it, like it starts off novelty. Yeah, girl, call the cops. That bitch was in your closet playing in your panties.
God.
And I love that the tweet is just like, I love how gay people can't just say like she was copying you or this sounds like this. It's like you have to push it to this, or like, this is a good song. You have to bring in the mother toilet, or
slaps the house down boots. I don't even know if that's the right
plunger
phrase.
because mother's going to the mother porta potty and she's going to. It's just like, just say it was good.
Is No Crumbs out? Like you ate No Crumbs?
I think it's like on its way.
Or is that like
out,
that's old?
I had to learn. People have to teach me stuff all the time.
No Crumbs was like millennials trying to be like, I can get with that slang.
Yeah.
Like, I ate no crumbs.
I ate no crumbs.
No crumbs.
I think working in like corporate world too on Slack every once in a while, you'll still hear like fashizzle from somebody. I'm like, my God.
Fashizzle on Slack?
Yes.
Oh
and then there's like
That's a hate crime.
There's like two party
That's
parents underneath it. Like, yes.
Me on Slack being like, hey, everybody, really great job at the meeting today. No crumbs left behind. I'm really proud of you all. Faux shizzle.
Boots.
Oh my
Shizzle
God. Boots. This is ridiculous. I still say things like sweet. Like sweet was like when we were like 7 or 8.
That's fine.
Like, oh man, that's so sweet,
That's
man.
fine.
I was talking to a straight guy there, yeah. Oh my
You
God.
could say sweet.
Kick off those tap dancing sandals.
Yeah.
Tapping all by
gay
yourself,
Jesus.
handsome.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stick with dating. I'm just because
try.
am. Oh my God, dating is a fucking saga for all of us.
Yeah.
Alex and I have talked about it extensively, and I want to know, like, or I guess from your perspective, some of the ideas that you floated to us was you envy that other people have like this really fierce certainty about what they want in a partner and what they want in a relationship, and that they're kind of like, yep, I know I want this and I know I want that, and I find myself the opposite of that as well, where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Do I want a relationship? Do I not? Do I want to live with someone? Do I not? And I don't feel, I don't know. Oh, I forget. Were you saying you felt certain in your, you feel certain in your
About
like
my uncertainty?
Yeah, about your, well, you
I
feel
am certainly
oh my God,
uncertain.
Certainly uncertain.
No, you're
Yeah.
certain of your like your immediate dislike for someone, I guess. Being like, I can already spot that guy. What'd you say? He's like a Pokemon man, Pokemon adult. Not for me. Out.
Pokemon adult, which no shade to them. Don't
No
listen to me.
shade,
Yeah, we have to bleep that out.
But
I'll
there
get
is,
attacked.
it's like at our age, it's like at what point do you start to be like, okay, this isn't a perfect match. It's not my ideal thing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to like explore it a little bit. Or do you honor your conviction and be like, nope, that is not for me. I'm out. But then when I try to do that, then I'm just indefinitely single.
Yeah. I think there's also again something too about I think doing comedy. You're ready to like point at someone or like do some crowd work with anybody.
That's true.
At any given point,
You're
like
like,
what
I
are you
clocked
wearing? I
this
can see
stereotype,
this.
yeah.
There's something there that is helpful with that. I think there's also just something about like finding way. I'm envious when I mentioned that. I was saying I was envious kind of people who have that flexibility to see something that would probably turn me off immediately. Like, like we were talking about like weird tattoos earlier. Like if someone just had like, a giant like born this way back tattoo that went across their whole back, if I saw that would be like, oh, you need to get out of my home.
Yeah.
But then I have some friends who are like, it's just a tattoo. Who cares? Look how beautiful he is. And he's so nice for a waiter. You know what I mean? And so it's like finding these like things that balance.
What can you look past?
What can you look past?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What's something you guys cannot look past? Like, what's a non-negotiable for you in dating?
Oh my God.
Back tattoos.
Bad. Being mean to our server or being mean to a cab driver.
Yeah.
Which is like I think the
100%.
one thing you don't get on dating apps, and that's like the one thing because I'm always like a huge advocate of dating apps all the time. I think use it as a tool. Make sure that you're using it for you. Find ways that it works for you. I think the one downside is like I can't tell if you're going to be an asshole to other people and when I meet you in person.
Yeah, that's true.
So some people are so good on paper, really suave. They figured out the pickup lines and you go on a date and it's like, what the fuck?
It's like you've never worked into like a service industry job in your life and it shows. Yeah. God,
Pokemon adult also. I
There-
had a
Pokemon
run
adult.
with one. And I at first was like, I thought I could look past it. I was
Yeah.
like, this was a couple of years ago.
Wait, no, you like figurines?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't
I
that
was
a few
like,
years ago? I feel like that was like last year.
It was, it would have been last like January, like last December to January, like 2020.
When we drove back to Massachusetts for Christmas together.
Yes.
Yes, because I remember you talking about it in the car, and I was like, this guy sounds interesting.
Well, it was like lovely, lovely gentleman. Very sweet.
You're great, sir.
Yeah,
You're great.
you're great.
We love
You're
you.
great. But like, yeah, just like first date was like, I'm super into like Pokemon or anime. Sorry, he was super into anime. And I was like, cool, great. You like what you like. I have no problem with that. But then I went to his home and realized he did not like anime. He loved anime. Everything was anime. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. This is like a Disney adult anime. Like I can't. There's figurines watching.
Yeah.
I can't be naked in front of
He's full Comic-Con.
full on shower curtain, bath towels,
Shower curtain.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. This is.
There is something jarring about being naked in front of a wall of Funko Pops.
Yeah, and like huge eyes, and like
forever.
I just like could not. I
Can't be
just was
forever.
like, this ain't it.
Oh
and
my
go
God.
forth and find someone who is into this. It is not me.
He will. And he will.
He will.
Wow.
It's important. That's why it's important sometimes that you let them go. Because someone out there does, that really fucking revs their engine.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
should be
also
with that
important
person.
to like to what we were saying before about like being your whole self. Like what there's some quote. I wonder if it's like a Shel Silverstein quote about like this this man was blue, but he spent his whole life trying to be green to fit in, and he missed the other blue woman. Like essentially like
Yeah.
Oh, it is that.
That's definitely Shell.
I'm
Classic
blue.
Shel. Hold
Classic
on.
Shel.
I'm blue. If I was
Hold on,
green, I would
everyone
die. Dabba dee,
shut up.
dabba die.
You guys talk. I'm finding this quote. This is worth.
I'm with you though. My full non-negotiable 100% is if you're rude to a server or a cab driver, but
Totally.
primarily bad tippers. If you're a bad tipper,
Yeah.
dead to me. You're
Hard.
absolutely dead to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
I did.
I'm so excited.
You ready for masks? Are you ready for
Should be
Shel?
like
Masks
one fish,
by
two
Shel
fish,
Silverstein.
red fish, blue fish.
She had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by and never knew.
That's beautiful.
I
So
will burst into tears right now.
I love it.
so
Shel
let-
Silverstein.
love Shel.
Love Shel.
Love Shel.
He loved Pokemon, and so
You
did
know what?
she.
And
Speaking
so
of
did
shells, I hate people who collect shells.
That's,
Alex is one of them.
oh,
Kidding. We were on Fire Island, and Alice is like, "Look at all these shells I found," and I was like,
and what were
"Hey,
you doing? Right.
What do you think I was doing on Fire Island, honey?
Absolutely.
I was
woke
pulling
up.
the shells out of my hole.
I woke up one morning so early. It was like so early for Fire Island, but I was like, let me just text them that like putting my book in my bag. I was like, I'm gonna go down to the beach. You guys texted them at like 8 a.m. I was like, meet me down there when you're ready. And Drew was like, I'm just getting back from the boardwalk.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, dude.
You're there
7
with
a.m.?
This is a trash bag full of shells. Damn.
I love it.
my God, so
my
good.
God. So where do you stand with dating though? Like, as you are investigating these dating apps, literally because of work, but also B, as someone who's out in the world mingling, where do you stand in the dating world, and like, where are you willing to bend and where are you not,
Bend.
honey?
Fire
Bend.
Island bending. No, I think right now where I stand is I'm refocused and I'm like much more intentional about it.
Okay.
I've learned, as I was mentioning earlier, like a lot more social cues that feel better to me. And I'm also learning a lot more malleability in terms of like other people's preferences. I still have like very hard nose.
I think you're allowed to. You're allowed to have nose,
Sure.
and you're allowed to hone.
Yeah, but it's like I don't want to be that person where my friends are always like, "You are like an avoidant person, like at all costs." But then
Yeah.
they'll meet some guys. Sometimes it's like, "Oh fuck," and I'm like, "Yeah, I told you." Yeah,
Yeah.
he smells like cat litter. So it's like there are certain things where it's like you have to have like these like hard preferences. I am learning to be more flexible. My other thing that helps me is other people's opinions do impact. I've been in relationships before where my friends, and I'm so thankful to have really protective and supportive friends, didn't really care for them, and like sowing that seed of discord was enough to I couldn't get out of my mind.
Yeah.
And then I made these like big decisions, or I broke things off, and there's at least two people in my life that's happened, and when I was just like not really sure of myself, that other friends were like, no, and they meant well. They want the best for me, but I was having a really good time. And it's that same thing of like looking up and catching someone's eyes during prayer. Like I looked at them and I saw their face and I was like, oh, like I'm embarrassed for like believing this and kind of like stepped away from it. And I wish that I wouldn't have done that. And so now I've learned that when I find something good, I keep it to myself and I make sure I like it and I'm appreciative of like this person and to a point where I don't care if someone else, isn't certain about them for me. I have to like make sure like I'm concrete for it myself. And that's been something that's been very paramount with like dating recently. Cause you want to go out with your friends. You want to say like, oh, like who are you talking to right now? And it's like, I'm talking to this boy. It's a 50-year-old man. I'm talking to this boy. He has a son. And it's like, you want to like say all these things to them about this person. But then the last thing I want is for them to go, oh, well, don't you think it's going to be, and then that one little crack is just like,
it's impossible to overcome that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spill too much tea, but I have someone in my family who is dating someone with like a pretty intense criminal background. And up front, when nobody knew about this, we were all like, oh, he's lovely. And then once it was unearthed, because I have some nosy aunts, it was suddenly like everyone was like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tough. I feel for that person in my family who's like trying to like navigate that and give someone a second chance, but also reconcile that relationship with family members who are like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Or friends that are like, absolutely not. It's really tricky.
It's hard. It's hard. And I think ultimately that's where I'm at, is just kind of intentional. I want to date. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be more mature about how I view people. And I have that kind of like plan in my mind of, how to move forward with it. And I feel good about it so far.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it.
You should feel good about it. That's exciting. We sometimes like to throw in a little segment at the end called Muddy Moments, where people get to share like a funny, wild, or crazy, like embarrassing, ridiculous, muddy moment from their life. Do you have anything that like comes to mind that you could share?
Is it about me specifically, or is it related to the topic?
It could be anything, but ideally it doesn't have to be about the topic. It's just about like you and your life in general. Like, what's a little funny, muddy moment?
I had a muddy moment, and my muddy moment was, and I apologized to them for this since then, but there was a person I was really attracted to, and we had a kind of a fling, and this is years ago, and probably like a decade at this point, and he said, I just want to be friends. Then I was like, yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Went on and had was in a relationship with somebody like a week later, and I spiraled. I had this moment where I was like,
too.
Oh my God. Like I remember like seeing it and being like, I never want to forget how this made me feel. And I know exactly where I was standing. I could see it, I could visualize it, and that worked. But then I went to a friend's birthday like a week and a half later, and I remember being like, I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm just going to have shrooms. And I go to Kohl's, and
iconic open mic / bar.
We love
Chicago.
Kohl's. We love you, Kohl's. And I see them there. And
together.
Yeah.
And you're on shrooms.
And I'm on shrooms. And I was like, you know what? I'll just have a double shot of Malort. Just one. And so I took a double shot of Malort, Chicago's #1 alcohol.
For people who don't know Malort.
Just completely blackout. Don't remember a thing after that. I wake up the next day. At the time, I was working for a payment company. I was like testing their like new debit card they had. I had spent about $400 at Kohl's, and Kohl's is like a divey bar. Like it takes a lot of
$5 bullet bourbon. Is what I.
It takes a lot to spend. I spent $400. I closed out the tab every like single time I was doing it. So there was the people the company I worked for thought that there was an error on the card. They thought there was like a bug in the system. And I'm like, no, that was all. That was all me.
That was me.
For the next like 2 weeks, people would come up to me in Chicago. They'd be like, oh my God, AJ, you loved me. Remember you bought me and my friend shots. You loved our bangs. And I was like,
you loved our bangs?
Yeah, girl. Like I was like out there just like talking shit and like buying people shots that night, I guess, at some point. And then the guy I was previously linked with, he was at my job. I was working as like a door girl at this bar that was, a little goth bar. And he was like, can I buy you a drink? And I said, oh no, I'm not drinking. A few weeks ago, I had this moment where I like blacked out at Kohl's. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember, we talked. And I was like, we did. And he was like, you don't remember talking to me at all? And I was like, no, I don't. He told me, I walked up to him and his partner when they were outside smoking a cigarette. And I pulled him from his partner, like over to the side, like maybe 2 feet away. And I said this, I'm going to make you come harder than you've ever come in your entire life one day. And he said, what? And I said, I'm gonna make you come harder. Like, I didn't like take it as like you heard me and you're shocked. I took it as like you couldn't hear me. So like now I'm like 2 inches from his face. I'm gonna make you come harder than you've ever come in your entire life one day. And then
One day.
Yeah. And then I stepped back and I said something about like, oh, never mind, because we're just friends. And I walked around. I got like, this is what I've heard. I got on the floor and I walked around like a little baby outside. And I got up and I like dusted myself off and I went inside the bar. And he told me that to my face. And I laughed so hard.
Oh, we're just
Again.
friends.
And he just stood there like this. No, it's not funny. You really crossed a boundary. And I did. But I could not believe that I like walked out there like it was full on business, like straightened my shirt and was like, I'm going to make, yeah. So that would be my muddy moment. And after that,
That is dynamite.
That's perfectly muddy.
Wow.
I love that.
take that.
I'm gonna make you come
Good
harder
job.
than you someday.
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 Ominous. And it could, to everyone, to the people out
Someday.
there,
Down the road.
it could still happen.
So watch
You
out.
never know. That's a
Oh my
threat.
Someday you'll come.
That's incredible.
Terrible. Don't do
Well, that
shrooms
was-
in Malort, you guys.
No, yeah, you
No,
can't be
can't do
mixing
that.
Malort with anything. Well, thank you. You're the absolute king. I love this. This was
This was
incredible.
really
So
fun.
fun.
Thank you guys for having me.
Where can people find you on?
You could find me at Kohl's. You could find me on Instagram at AJ Deluxe.
Incredible. Love you so much.
Thanks,
You're
AJ.
the best.
Love you both.
Thanks for watching and listening, you guys. Give us a like and a follow and a subscribe if you want to hear more.